It is the monarch that is the key to this, and the constitution that underpins the monarchy. We as a family see ourselves there as to support that role.
Something surprising has happened in the royal family. Princess Anne, who is always strong and honest, has found out something new about Queen Camilla. Many people think Camilla is just King Charles's caring wife, but this new discovery might change how everyone sees her. There are hidden secrets, quiet talks, and looks that mean more than they seem. This news might change the royal family forever. Is the royal family about to face another big change? Or has the real story been hiding all along? What Princess Anne recently discovered. Princess Anne has always been known for her honesty. She doesn't sugarcoat things, and she certainly doesn't play into unnecessary drama. But this time, what she has uncovered about Queen Camilla is something no one expected. It all started with a quiet conversation behind palace doors. Anne, who has spent decades watching the royal family from the inside, has always had her own thoughts about Camilla. But recent events have made her see something she hadn't noticed before. Camilla's growing influence over King Charles and, more importantly, over the monarchy itself. For years, people have debated Camilla's true role in the royal family. Some say she's simply standing beside Charles as a supportive wife, while others believe she has far more power than she lets on. Anne has now realized that Camilla is not just a queen by title. She's someone who is actively shaping decisions, policies, and even the future of the monarchy. The real shocker? Anne's sources say that Camilla has been making key decisions behind the scenes, decisions that might change the royal family forever. This isn't just about small things like royal engagements or public appearances. Camilla is said to be involved in conversations about the monarchy's structure, future roles, and even who holds power within the family. So how did Anne come to this realization? Well, it wasn't from a single moment. It was a pattern she noticed over time. She saw how Charles leaned on Camilla more than ever, how her opinions shaped his actions, and how other royals seemed to adjust their stance around her. It became clear that Camilla wasn't just playing the role of the dutiful wife. She was playing a much bigger game. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Some may argue that Camilla is simply stepping up because Charles needs her. Others may feel uneasy about it, wondering if she's pushing her own agenda rather than serving the interests of the monarchy as a whole. Either way, this revelation changes how we see Camilla, and possibly how the world will see the royal family moving forward. How this changes everything for Camilla. Camilla's journey in the royal family has been anything but easy. From the early days of scandal and public scrutiny to finally being accepted as queen, she has fought a long battle to earn her place. But now, with Princess Anne's discovery, everything might take a turn once again. First, let's talk about public perception. Camilla has spent years trying to win the people's trust. Some have accepted her, while others still see her as the woman who came between Charles and Diana. But now, with this revelation, a big question arises. Is Camilla becoming too powerful? Some may admire her for stepping up and taking charge, but others might feel uncomfortable knowing she's pulling the strings behind the scenes. It's one thing to be a supportive queen consort, but it's another thing to be influencing major royal decisions. If people start seeing her as the one truly in control, it could lead to more criticism. The British public has always been protective of their monarchy, and if they feel that Camilla is overstepping her boundaries, it could spark serious backlash. Now, let's look at how this affects the royal family itself. King Charles has always trusted Camilla, but will this new attention on her influence make things difficult for him? If people, both inside and outside the palace, start questioning her power, it might put Charles in a tough position. Will he continue to rely on her completely, or will he be forced to change his approach to keep the monarchy stable? And what about the other royals? Anne, as someone who has always been fiercely loyal to the crown, might have concerns about this shift in power. She has always believed in duty above personal gain, so if she sees Camilla making major decisions, she might feel that it goes against the traditional ways of the monarchy. Royal experts are already weighing in on what this could mean. Some believe that Camilla's growing role is simply a natural progression, considering her decades-long journey with Charles. Others, however, think this could create tension within the family, especially among those who have always believed in a more traditional system. At the end of the day, this discovery makes one thing clear. Camilla is no longer just a background figure. She is playing an active, strategic role in the future of the monarchy, and that could change everything. The reaction, the royal family and public response. King Charles has always made it clear that he stands by Camilla. He fought for her acceptance, ensured she was given the title of queen, and continues to rely on her deeply. But how will he react to this sudden focus on her influence? If there's one thing Charles doesn't like, it's controversy surrounding his wife. He has spent years trying to reshape the narrative about Camilla, and any suggestion that she is controlling him could be damaging. Some believe he will stand by her no matter what, brushing off any concerns and continuing to let her play an active role. Others, however, think that if the pressure becomes too much, he might have to make some changes to reassure the public and the family. Then there's Prince William and Prince Harry. William has always had a careful approach when it comes to Camilla. While he respects her role in his father's life, he has never openly praised her influence. If this new revelation gains traction, William might feel the need to step up and assert more control over how the monarchy is managed. After all, he is next in line, and anything that affects public trust in the institution will eventually affect him. Harry, on the other hand, has been vocal about his dislike of Camilla. In his book, Spare, he made it clear that he sees her as someone who has played a major role in royal drama. If he catches wind of this, he might have more to say, potentially adding fuel to the fire and causing more division within the family. The public reaction is perhaps the most unpredictable part of all. Some people may feel a new sense of admiration for Camilla, seeing her as a strong and capable leader. Others, however, may not like the idea of her having such a strong hold over the monarchy. The British press will certainly have a field day with this, and depending on how the headlines play out, it could shape public opinion in either direction. What this means for the future of the monarchy. This revelation about Camilla's influence isn't just a small detail. It could have lasting effects on how the monarchy is perceived. If she continues to take on such an active role, will people start seeing her as more than just a queen consort? Will she be viewed as an actual force shaping the future of the royal family? One of the biggest questions is how this will affect Anne and Camilla's relationship moving forward. Anne has always been known for her traditional values, and if she feels that Camilla's influence is changing the monarchy too much, she might take a stand. Could this lead to tension between them? Or will they find a way to work together? And what about the monarchy itself? The royal family has been facing challenges from all directions: public scrutiny, internal conflicts, and shifting global perspectives. If people start seeing Camilla as the true power behind the throne, will this make the monarchy stronger? Or could it create more instability? No matter what happens next, one thing is certain. Camilla is no longer in the shadows. She is at the center of it all. And Princess Anne's discovery has only made that clearer. The question now is, how will the world react? And more importantly, how will the royal family handle this new reality? If you found this video interesting and want to stay updated on more royal news, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Mourners line the street, numbering in the thousands. Diana touched the lives of so many in her 36 years, and people of all backgrounds take her loss heavily.
In a stunning development that has sent shockwaves through royal circles, Queen Camilla has reportedly made the unprecedented decision to directly challenge the late Queen Elizabeth's final wishes regarding Princess Diana's legacy. This shocking move has united Diana's sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, in outrage despite their ongoing estrangement. Palace insiders reveal that both princes are furious at their stepmother's actions, creating a family crisis that threatens to undermine King Charles's efforts to project stability in his reign. What exactly has Camilla done that has so angered Diana's sons, and why would she risk such a controversial stance? The royal directive ignored. According to sources with direct knowledge of the situation, before her death, Queen Elizabeth left specific instructions regarding several royal residences, collections, and heirlooms that had connections to Princess Diana. These instructions included provisions for preserving Diana's personal effects, maintaining certain memorials, and ensuring her grandchildren would have access to items that belonged to their mother. The late queen was extremely thorough in her planning, revealed one former palace official. She understood that Diana's legacy remained a sensitive topic and wanted to ensure everything was handled with appropriate respect after her passing. Among these directives was the stipulation that Diana's former apartments at Kensington Palace would be preserved in their historical context, with certain rooms maintained as they were during her residence there. Additionally, specific jewelry pieces that had been worn by Diana and returned to the royal collection were to be reserved for use by Kate, Princess of Wales, and eventually, Princess Charlotte. However, palace insiders claim that Camilla has systematically begun dismantling these arrangements, beginning with the redecoration of spaces in Kensington Palace that were specifically covered by Elizabeth's directives. Camilla has made it clear she wants a clean slate, said one royal household source. She's instructed staff to refresh areas that were explicitly meant to be preserved, and has begun using jewelry pieces that were designated for Kate and Charlotte. William's measured fury. For Prince William, this situation represents a particularly difficult challenge. As heir to the throne, he's been careful to maintain public unity with his father and Camilla, while privately harboring strong feelings about his mother's legacy and how it should be honored. William is absolutely livid, but he's trapped in an impossible position, claimed one source close to the Prince of Wales. He can't publicly criticize the king's wife without creating a constitutional problem. But he views Camilla's actions as a direct attack on his mother's memory. According to multiple sources, William has attempted to address the issue through proper channels, requesting formal meetings with his father to discuss what he views as violations of his grandmother's wishes. These meetings have reportedly been tense, with Charles caught between loyalty to his wife and understanding his son's perspective. Most concerning to William, according to those familiar with his thinking, is what he perceives as Camilla's attempt to gradually erase Diana's presence from royal history. He allegedly told a close confidant, "First, it's redecorating rooms. Then it's wearing her jewelry. Soon it will be as if my mother never existed in these spaces at all." William's staff has reportedly been instructed to carefully document all changes being made that contradict Elizabeth's wishes, creating what one insider described as an accounting of grievances that may eventually require intervention from the Privy Council if the situation continues to deteriorate. Harry's public outrage. While William's response has been measured by his position and proximity, Prince Harry has reportedly been far more direct in his objections. From his home in California, Harry has allegedly sent a strongly worded private letter to both his father and Camilla expressing his disgust at what he views as disrespect, not only to his mother, but also to his grandmother's final wishes. Harry isn't constrained by the same considerations as William, explained one source familiar with both brothers. He's made it clear that if Camilla continues down this path, he's prepared to make the entire situation public, including specific details about Queen Elizabeth's directives. This threat of public exposure is particularly concerning to palace officials, who fear that Harry could use his media connections and platform to create another royal crisis, just as Charles has begun to stabilize his reign. The specific mention of Queen Elizabeth's wishes adds another dimension, as the late monarch remains deeply revered by the British public. According to those close to Harry, he views this situation as validation of concerns he has expressed for years about Camilla's influence and intentions. One friend reported that Harry said, "This is exactly what I warned everyone about. The moment she had the power, she began using it to erase my mother. It's vindication in the worst possible way." The items in dispute. At the center of this royal conflict are several specific items and spaces that hold deep significance in Diana's story. Palace sources have identified several key points of contention. Diana's former apartment at Kensington Palace, which Camilla has allegedly begun modernizing, despite directives that certain rooms be preserved in their historical state. The Spencer tiara, which Diana wore on her wedding day. Though technically owned by the Spencer family, arrangements had been made for it to be displayed in a royal collection dedicated to Diana's memory. A collection of sapphire jewelry that matched Diana's famous engagement ring, now worn by Kate. Queen Elizabeth had designated these pieces for Charlotte when she comes of age. personal correspondence between Diana and Queen Elizabeth, which was to remain sealed until William and Harry mutually agreed to its release. Camilla has reportedly requested access to these letters. A suite at Sandringham that Diana had decorated and used when the family spent Christmas there, which Camilla has allegedly converted into a new space for her own grandchildren. These might seem like small things to outsiders, but they represent physical connections to Diana that her sons value deeply, explained one former royal household member. By changing or claiming these spaces and items, Camilla is effectively overwriting Diana's presence in royal history. Charles caught in the middle for King Charles. This situation represents a painful dilemma that forces him to choose between his wife and his sons. Sources close to the monarch describe him as deeply distressed by the conflict, particularly as it involves honoring the wishes of his late mother, while also supporting his current wife. Charles genuinely wants to heal his family, but he's caught between irreconcilable positions, said one longtime royal advisor. Camilla feels she has earned the right to establish herself fully as queen without Diana's shadow constantly looming, while William and Harry feel their mother's memory is being deliberately diminished. The king has reportedly attempted to broker a compromise, suggesting that certain items and spaces could be preserved as Elizabeth wished, while others could be updated or repurposed. However, this middle ground approach has satisfied neither side, with Camilla reportedly insisting on her prerogatives as queen and the princes standing firm on respecting their grandmother's explicit wishes. Most concerning for Charles is how this conflict might affect his relationship with William, whose support is essential for the stability of the monarchy. One source claimed to have overheard William telling his father, "You're putting me in an impossible position. I cannot and will not stand by while my mother's memory is erased from our family history." The Queen's detailed instructions. What makes this situation particularly problematic is the reportedly explicit nature of Queen Elizabeth's instructions. According to those familiar with the documents, Elizabeth left detailed guidance rather than vague suggestions, having anticipated potential tensions over Diana's legacy. The late Queen was extremely precise in her directives, explained one former palace official. She specified exactly which items were to be preserved, which spaces were to be maintained, and how Diana should be represented in family histories and exhibitions. There's very little room for interpretation. Elizabeth's foresight on this matter reflects her deep understanding of the complexities surrounding Diana's place in royal history. Having witnessed the public and private aftermath of Diana's death and the complicated integration of Camilla into the royal family, the late Queen apparently sought to establish clear boundaries that would prevent exactly the type of conflict currently unfolding. Most significantly, Elizabeth allegedly included a personal letter to Charles, emphasizing the importance of honoring these wishes as part of maintaining public trust in the monarchy. According to those who have seen this letter, Elizabeth specifically noted that respecting Diana's legacy was essential for William and Harry's continued support of the institution. The United Brothers. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of this royal drama is how it has temporarily bridged the well-documented rift between William and Harry. Sources close to both princes report that they have been in regular contact regarding Camilla's actions, setting aside their other differences to present a unified front on this specific issue. Diana remains the one thing that can still unite them instantly, observed one longtime family friend. Whatever their disagreements about everything else, they are absolutely aligned when it comes to protecting their mother's memory and legacy. This unexpected alliance has reportedly taken the palace by surprise, as officials had become accustomed to managing William and Harry as separate entities with different concerns. The prospect of them working in tandem on this issue presents a formidable challenge to Camilla's position, and Charles's attempt to balance competing interests. According to one source, William and Harry recently held a video call specifically to coordinate their response to Camilla's actions. While they continue to differ on many issues, including Harry's public criticisms of the institution, they have agreed to stand together in insisting that Queen Elizabeth's wishes regarding their mother be honored without compromise. Public perception at stake. Beyond the personal dimensions of this conflict lies the broader question of public perception. Royal analysts note that Diana remains an enormously popular figure in public memory, while Camilla has worked for decades to overcome initial public resistance to her relationship with Charles and her eventual position as queen. This is potentially disastrous from a public relations perspective, noted one royal commentator. If the public perceives Camilla as disrespecting Diana's memory or overriding Queen Elizabeth's wishes, it could undo years of careful image rehabilitation. Early indications suggest the public is largely sympathetic to William and Harry's position. Social media reactions to rumors of the dispute have been overwhelmingly supportive of Diana's sons, with many commenters expressing dismay at what they view as Camilla's overreach. For a monarchy still adjusting to the transition from Elizabeth's 70-year reign to Charles's leadership, this family conflict represents a significant challenge to the narrative of stability and continuity that palace officials have been carefully constructing. As he navigates the complexities of his role, William's journey offers a vision of a monarchy that, while rooted in tradition, is unafraid to embrace change. In an ever-evolving world, this balance of old and new may be the key to the monarchy's enduring relevance, with William at its helm. Princess Charlotte's world has been turned upside down. Prince William, known for his calm and measured approach, has taken a step no one could have predicted, shaking the very foundation of the monarchy. It's a move that leaves Charlotte, poised, confident, and always composed, struggling with a reality that is rapidly evolving. The decision comes at a time when the royal family finds itself navigating the growing tension between tradition and modernization. However, William's bold actions have thrust Charlotte into the spotlight, and her unexpected reaction is at the center of a storm that could reshape the monarchy's future. For years, Prince William has played the part of the steady heir, following the footsteps of King Charles, while quietly preparing for his eventual reign. Yet now, William's power play appears to mark the beginning of a new era, one in which the younger generation of royals consolidates control over the institution. Aligning himself closely with Princess Catherine, William is signaling to the world that they are ready to take the reins. His move to assume greater responsibility may be strategic, but it comes with consequences. Consequences that ripple throughout the royal family, leaving a lasting impact on everyone, including his daughter, Princess Charlotte. The monarchy, once a symbol of stability, is now facing a period of profound change. William's decision to modernize royal duties and tighten control has been seen by many as necessary in a rapidly changing world. Yet, critics have called it a power grab that risks sidelining key members of the family, including Queen Camilla, who once worked tirelessly to secure her position within the royal hierarchy. As King Charles leans on his son to lead, Camilla's influence continues to wane. This has only deepened the cracks forming behind palace walls, a silent battle playing out between generations. Princess Charlotte's silent struggle emerges as a result of this seismic shift. At just a young age, Charlotte has already begun to feel the weight of her father's ambitions. William's decisions place her in a precarious position where her role, once defined by tradition, is now unclear. Charlotte has grown up in the shadow of her parents' rising prominence, groomed to play her part within the monarchy's rigid expectations. Yet, as William steps into a more central leadership role, Charlotte is left grappling with what this means for her future. Is she expected to follow in his footsteps, or will she find herself increasingly overshadowed by the power dynamics at play? As tensions rise, Princess Charlotte has become a symbol of this generational shift. Her public appearances have always been characterized by her poise and composure. But behind the polished image lies a young royal navigating the pressure of her circumstances. Will she embrace her role as part of William's vision for a modern monarchy, or will she resist, seeking to carve out her own path? The question is one that no one can answer yet, but it's clear that Charlotte's reaction carries significant weight. Her silent struggle mirrors the very challenges facing the royal family. How to balance tradition with the demands of an evolving world. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla's struggle highlights another layer of this unfolding story. After decades of public scrutiny, Camilla's promotion to Queen Consort was meant to be the crowning moment of her journey. Yet as Prince William consolidates his power, Camilla finds herself increasingly sidelined. For someone who worked tirelessly to secure her place in the monarchy, her exclusion is both frustrating and symbolic. The younger generation, William and Catherine, have taken center stage, leaving Camilla questioning her legacy. While her title remains intact, her influence is fading, and many are left wondering if this marks the beginning of the end of her role as a key player in the monarchy. Behind closed doors, insiders suggest that King Charles and Camilla are facing growing strain in their relationship. As Charles leans on William and Catherine to lead, Camilla's frustrations have only deepened. While the public remains largely unaware of this silent battle, the cracks are becoming harder to ignore. Charles may have intended to secure the monarchy's future by elevating William, but in doing so, he has inadvertently left Camilla on the periphery. Will she fight to reclaim her place, or will she accept her diminishing role within the palace? The future of the monarchy hangs in the balance, and every decision made now will have lasting consequences. Princess Charlotte. A key to the monarchy's future. Princess Charlotte's story is more than just a footnote in the royal family's journey. It's a reflection of the delicate balance between old traditions and the new world William is working to create. At such a young age, Charlotte is already grappling with the pressures of being part of one of the world's most watched families. The royal household has spent years carefully crafting her public image, presenting her as poised, mature, and ready for the responsibilities she will inevitably face. Yet William's bold decisions have made her role far more complex, and Charlotte now faces a crossroads that could define her place in the monarchy for decades to come. As William and Catherine rise in prominence, Princess Charlotte is left to wonder what this means for her future. Once seen as part of the supporting cast to her older brother, Prince George, Charlotte is now being viewed in a new light. Her father's modern vision for the monarchy means that the expectations placed upon her are evolving. No longer just a child in the background, Charlotte is increasingly positioned as a key figure in the monarchy's future. But the question remains, how will she respond to the shifting tides of power within her family? The monarchy has always been defined by its ability to adapt to the times, but this transition has been anything but smooth. The silent tension between the older and younger generations of royals is impossible to ignore, and Princess Charlotte's reaction to her father's decisions has captured the public's attention. While Charlotte has often been praised for her grace and maturity beyond her years, this moment is testing her in ways that no young royal should have to endure. As William continues to reshape the monarchy's role in the modern world, Charlotte must find her footing amidst the chaos. Her journey is not just personal, it is symbolic of the greater challenges facing the royal family. Can Charlotte embrace the responsibilities that come with her position? Or will she push back against the weight of her family's expectations? Will she step forward and become an integral part of William's vision? Or will she quietly resist the changes that threaten to redefine her role? The choices she makes in these formative years could have far-reaching consequences, not only for herself, but for the monarchy as a whole. The royal family's journey has always been one of evolution, but the stakes have never been higher. With Prince William's decisions shaking the very foundation of the monarchy, the spotlight now falls on Charlotte. Her silent struggle represents more than just a personal challenge. It's a reflection of the monarchy's future. The decisions made today will shape the family's legacy for generations, and Charlotte is at the center of it all. Will she embrace her role as a modern royal, or will the pressures of palace life prove to be too much? As the dust settles on William's bold power play, the royal family stands on the brink of a new era. The rise of William and Catherine has shifted the balance of power, and the once unshakable traditions of the monarchy are being tested like never before. Princess Charlotte's journey through this transition will be pivotal, as she navigates the challenges of a rapidly evolving institution. The choices she makes now will determine not only her legacy, but also the future of the monarchy itself. The world is watching closely as this story unfolds. The pressure on William to lead the royal family into a new era is immense, but the challenges facing Princess Charlotte are equally significant. As her father consolidates power and reshapes the institution, Charlotte must find her place in this new world. Will she rise to the occasion and embrace her role, or will she resist the forces pulling her in multiple directions? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Princess Charlotte's journey is far from over, and the future of the monarchy hangs in the balance. The royal household has spent years carefully crafting her public image, presenting her as poised, mature, and ready for the responsibilities she will inevitably face. Yet William's bold decisions have made her role far more complex, and Charlotte now faces a crossroads that could define her place in the monarchy for decades to come. As William and Catherine rise in prominence, Princess Charlotte is left to wonder what this means for her future. Once seen as part of the supporting cast to her older brother, Prince George, Charlotte is now being viewed in a new light.
She's gonna be murdered in a car, and nobody done nothing to protect her because they know they're planning to do what they have done to my son.
Princess Diana's life was not as perfect as it seemed. Behind the fancy dresses and big smiles, she was hiding a painful truth. Before she passed away, she shared shocking things about King Charles, things that many people never knew. She spoke about feeling trapped, lonely, and even scared. She revealed secrets about their marriage, their fights, and the things that happened behind closed doors. What she said was so disturbing that it left many wondering what was really going on inside the royal family. These were not just small problems. They were deep, dark truths that changed the way people saw the man who would one day be king. And once these secrets came out, nothing was ever the same again. Charles's alleged infidelity and emotional abuse. There was always someone else in Princess Diana's marriage. No matter how hard she tried, she could never shake the feeling that Camilla Parker Bowles was always there, lurking in the background. From the very start, Diana felt she was fighting a losing battle for Charles's love and attention. Diana once said something that broke millions of hearts around the world. She said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." That one sentence said it all. She wasn't just married to Charles, she was sharing him. And no woman should have to go through that kind of pain. Diana wasn't crazy. She wasn't imagining things. She knew Charles was having an affair with Camilla, even when everyone around her tried to tell her otherwise. But instead of Charles sitting down and reassuring his young wife, he made it worse. Whenever Diana brought it up, he would gaslight her. He would say things like, "You're paranoid," or "You're imagining it," making her question her own sanity. Can you imagine the man you love turning your deepest fears into a joke? That's exactly what happened to Diana. The emotional damage Charles caused her was massive. He didn't comfort her. He didn't protect her. He left her to deal with it all alone. Diana struggled with bulimia, an eating disorder that took over her life. She once shared that Charles made fun of her weight, pushing her deeper into the illness. Instead of helping, Charles turned away. He laughed at her, called her unstable, and labeled her as the problem in their marriage. Diana was drowning, and Charles stood by watching. He laughed off her pain, told others she was being dramatic, and treated her feelings like they didn't matter. That cold behavior broke Diana from the inside. It made her feel unloved, unwanted, and like a burden. For the world, they looked like the perfect royal couple. But behind closed doors, Diana was fighting a silent war. She was trying to save a marriage that Charles had given up on long ago. No matter what she did, it was never enough because, in the end, his heart belonged to someone else, Camilla. The Tampon-Gate scandal and public humiliation. If Diana had any doubts about Charles's affair, those doubts were crushed when the Tampon-Gate scandal hit the headlines in 1993. The private, intimate phone call between Charles and Camilla was leaked, and the world got to hear just how deep their relationship really was. The conversation was shocking, embarrassing, and humiliating, not just for Charles, but for Diana most of all. In the call, Charles joked about wanting to be reincarnated as Camilla's tampon, words so private and bizarre that even today, they make people uncomfortable. But imagine being Diana, hearing the man you're married to, the future King of England, talk like that to another woman. It wasn't just an affair. It was proof that everything Diana had feared was true. Charles loved Camilla, not her. And now, the whole world knew it. She couldn't hide anymore. She had to smile, wave, and pretend like it was all okay while every newspaper splashed that humiliation on the front page. For Diana, this wasn't just betrayal. It was public execution of her dignity. The royal family stayed silent, as always, leaving Diana to face the world alone. The scandal only made Diana stronger, though. It fueled her desire to speak out, to tell her side of the story. She knew if she stayed quiet, she'd be buried by the lies. the world's opinion of Charles took a huge hit. People couldn't believe the man who was supposed to be their future king could speak that way, act that way, and hurt Diana so deeply. But instead of breaking her, it pushed Diana to fight harder for her truth. Diana's dark predictions and fears before her death. The saddest part of Diana's story is that she knew deep down that her life was in danger. She said it more than once. She was scared that they would kill her. But who was they? The royal family? The press? The people who didn't want her speaking out? In private conversations, Diana shared her fears openly. She once said, "They're going to kill me in a car accident." Those words hit harder now, knowing how she died. It's chilling to think about. It was like she knew what was coming but felt powerless to stop it. There's also the Mishkan note, a letter written down by her lawyer after Diana told him about a plot she feared. She believed someone wanted to tamper with her car brakes or stage a crash. She thought she was being watched, followed, and set up. And the sad part is, nobody really listened. Diana wasn't just scared for herself. She was scared for her sons, William and Harry. She knew that the more she spoke out, the more dangerous it became for her. But still, she didn't stop. She refused to be silenced, even if it cost her everything. Her death left behind so many questions. Did she know too much? Was it really just an accident? Or did someone finally decide that Diana had said enough? Post-divorce explosions. After the divorce, Diana finally started speaking her truth, and the world listened. In 1995, she gave a now-famous interview to BBC Panorama with journalist Martin Bashir. That interview changed everything. Diana didn't hold back. She spoke about Charles's betrayal, about how she was left unprotected by the royal family, and about how lonely she felt. She admitted to her struggles with bulimia and depression, but more importantly, she made it clear that she was never the crazy one. She was the one surviving in an impossible situation. One of the most powerful moments was when Diana said she didn't think Charles was fit to be king. She feared that his actions, his cold heart, and his lack of empathy made him wrong for the role, and millions of people agreed with her. The interview caused an earthquake inside the royal family. Charles's reputation took a massive hit. People couldn't look at him the same way again. The once fairy-tale prince was now seen as a cheating, cold-hearted man who broke the heart of the world's princess. But for Diana, it was more than revenge. It was freedom. For the first time, she was telling her story, her way. And people finally saw the real Diana. Not the royal puppet, but the strong, brave woman fighting for her life. After the interview, Diana's life began to change. She started focusing on humanitarian work, traveling the world, and helping people. She was becoming her own person, no longer just the princess, but a global icon for compassion and courage. Final days, final words. In the last months of her life, Diana seemed different. She was finally breaking free from the royal chains. She found love again, this time with Dodi Fayed, the son of billionaire Mohammed Al Fayed. Their relationship raised many eyebrows, especially inside the royal circle. There were whispers that Diana and Dodi were planning something big. Some said she was thinking about moving to the United States, starting a new life far away from the royal family. There were even rumors that she wanted full custody of William and Harry. She didn't want her boys growing up in the same cold world that had destroyed her. Some reports claimed that Diana was planning to reveal more secrets, that she was ready to expose the royal family in a way no one had ever done before. What she knew, what she had seen. It could have shaken the monarchy to its core. But we'll never truly know what Diana was planning because she never got the chance to finish her story. On August 31st, 1997, her life was cut short in a car crash in Paris. And just like that, the world lost its princess. Even today, people wonder, what else did Diana know? What other secrets did she carry with her to the grave? Was her death really just an accident? Or was it something darker, something more planned? Princess Diana's words left the world shocked, and even today, they raise questions about what really happened behind the palace walls. Her truth changed history, but the full story may never be known. What do you think about the secrets she revealed? Let us know in the comments. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more eye-opening stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.